In today's video, how to stop yo-yo dieting and stay fit forever. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Rebella from ProPhysique.com, and in today's video, I'm gonna address the question of yo-yo dieting and how to get out of that routine. And it comes from right here on my Instagram direct message. So if you would like to ask me a question, you can go to my Instagram and send it there. Now for today's video, I wanna read the question and then we're gonna get into it. And this is something that I get asked quite a bit, so I think it's gonna relate to many of you. I love all your YouTube videos. I've been working out for years and now I fall into the category of yo-yo dieting. I drop calories too low and do tons of cardio, setting myself up for failure. I was hoping to get some input on how to lose fat without getting lost in this cycle. I work out 5 days a week for about 90 minutes. And on my 2 rest days, I do HIIT workouts for about an hour. I walk every day about an hour. I dropped my calories to 1800, but that caused me to binge. I now upped my calories to 2100 and I'm still working out the same. I'm sorry to rant, I just know I need some help because what I'm doing isn't working. Thank you. So I think the first thing I notice here is that there seems to be an over necessity to exercise, okay? And I see this quite often with people who are kind of obsessed with losing weight or have problems with the yo-yo approach, is that they're either all in or they're all out. They don't look at it as a overall journey. And what you said that was the most difficult thing to hear was that your 2 rest days, your words, are the days you do probably the most difficult thing, which is high intensity interval training cardio. Now, that is very difficult to recover from. So what I'm hearing here is that you're training 5 days a week, you're doing HIIT cardio 2 days a week, and you're walking an hour every day. My initial thought would be just remove the HIIT cardio, okay? Because it's gonna impair your ability to train. Now, I don't know what kind of training you're doing, but 90 minutes in the gym could be potentially a bit excessive, unless you are doing something like a physique competition or you're doing some type of training style like a powerlifting or CrossFit where you're actually trying to compete a bunch of training to get through your process. So while I'm not gonna address just diet, I would like to talk about this need to constantly be always doing something. I think it's something that I find, well listen, of all the addictive things that we can get addicted to out there, exercise is probably gonna be one of the best things for us. However, it too can become a problem if you allow it to go on for too long. And I think it's probably leading into your issue with yo-yo dieting, because what I often find with people that I speak to that have food issues, yo-yo dieting issues, restricting and overeating, is that they tend to compensate overeating with exercise. So they're using their overindulgence in cardio and training to allow themselves to go, you know what, I can eat a lot of extra food, I'll just work it off tomorrow or the day after and I'll just eat a lot less those few days. So to get out of this, how do we handle it? What is the first step we need to take? Well, I'm really glad to hear that you found this balance with your calories. You realized that at 1800 calories, you were having trouble sticking to the diet and you were binge eating. So then you brought your calories up to 2100. But what I think would be best here is for you to potentially be dieting on 1800 calories, but be having maybe a 2100 calorie refeed 1 or 2 days a week, and also removing that high intensity cardio. Now, I'm someone who in the past used to do a lot of high intensity intervals, especially when I was dieting to get on a bodybuilding stage. It was very in vogue at the time. It is seen as superior to steady state, but I now find I've changed my stance on that. While I love HIIT cardio, it has a lot of applications. When you start to get low body fat, what I find is that HIIT cardio actually made my hunger go through the roof. It also made my energy dip to the point where all I could do on the days I did HIIT cardio was lay around because I was so exhausted. It also impaired my recovery from the gym, so I was not getting stronger. So it all comes down to what your timetable allows you to do. But I think you are so in tune with yourself. You know these calorie ranges, you know where your cardio is at, you know where your training is at. So I think it's just a matter of toggling these switches. Fat loss is something that you have to allow over time to happen. Most of the people that yo-yo diet tend to do what you do and go, you know what, I just want to get the weight off, I want to get really low, and I'll do it any means necessary. And they often succeed. But the real problem is not the success in the weight loss. The problem is the success in not going through the process again by putting the weight right back on. So you need to look into something called reverse dieting in that situation. But for your situation where it sounds like you're not happy with where you're at and you want the weight to come down, really focusing on losing 1 to 1.5% of your body weight per week. That can be slow for some people. That can be almost grueling. And if you're well overweight, if you're in the obese category, I certainly don't think you need to go that slow. But if you have a nice body composition and you carry a little bit of muscle, well, you want to hold on to that muscle, okay? And so you're going to see a slower change, but I promise you the slower the changes, the more sustainable they become, okay? So you're able to lose the weight slowly, and through that process, you actually learn more about yourself, you change your habits, you change your rituals, you change how you eat and how you perform, and you're not afraid to take a day off. Take a day off. Remember, our bodies are amazing machines that can perform amazingly well, but they require a few things. That's fuel, that's a quality training program, but also recovery. And I know it's probably said so often, the term overtraining but it's very real. You need to be paying attention to your recovery. If you have 0 rest days a week, that's a problem. Okay, now I'm not saying that every week has to have rest days in it, but if you're going for weeks on end without taking a day off from either training or HIIT cardio, then you're never actually getting caught up. Okay, and that can start to impair things like your sleep and your ability for your muscles to recover. So I would really like to see you taking, let's start slow. Let's go from 2 HIIT cardio sessions a week to 1, okay? You can keep the walking, you can keep the training, but bring your calories back down to 1800. Maybe on that 1 rest day a week, you bring your calories up to 21, 2200. It'll give you something to look forward to. Psychology is very important when it comes to this yo-yo process. If you can find a way that allows you to have something to look forward to while reaching your goals, it's going to really make this something that's long-term successful. The whole nature of the yo-yo diet is really going too hard and coming out of the diet too hard. So let's focus on taking our time. Let's use a flexible approach where we understand there are no good foods, there are no bad foods. It is not binary. It is simply a system of numbers, okay? Macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats that help us reach our goals. Sure, there are some foods that are going to be much better than other foods for staying within our budget of calories. But when we look at food that way, we don't think of things as off limits, and we're less likely to say, I'm off my diet today, I'm just going to go off the deep end for a few days. And we're much more likely to go, you know what, I've really been craving a burger, I've really been craving some ice cream, let's just fit it into my daily goals. Sure, it might not be the most amazing food ever, but no one's judging you for eating like a saint year-round, okay? Overall balance and your happiness is much more important than feeling the need or the pressure to eat clean all the time. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Check it today at 4 p.m. if you guys are interested in the live where we can discuss your questions, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.